Well, good evening, internets. It's me, DP Knudten, for another edition of Bookward Bound, my 301-day journey from I should really do this to done when it comes to the creation of a brand new book by January 1st of 2021 that I will be uploading press-ready PDF files to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform, where I will be self-publishing a brand new book that you've already seen the cover of, but I'll show it to you again. It's called NONFICTION BRAND, Discover, Craft, and Communicate the Completely True, Completely You brand you already are. Yep, that's what this is all about, and that's why I'm down here on a Saturday night instead of upstairs binge watching Netflix or something like that. I'm actually, this is day 161, if I'm not mistaken, 161 consecutive days of working on this book via live stream in real time, because that's the commitment I made on Friday, March 5th of 2020 in order to get this book done by December 31st, 2020. Because the very next day, January 1st of 2021, those files are being uploaded, as I said, to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing space for self-publishing. Pretty cool, huh? Yeah, pretty daunting, huh? Yeah, absolutely, huh? Well, that just means that every night I got to be down here working on the book in one way or another. So without further ado, let's head on over there to Scrivener, the application I'm actually using to write this bad boy. And you can see over here, this is the main window in which you write the book. And then over here is the list of sections and chapters. And I'm working on a chapter about Bea Boker called Check Your Alignment, Calibrate as Necessary. And I finished this section the other night, but it's not fully done, not fully proofed, not fully edited as yet. So I think what I'm going to do tonight is just read through it aloud, look for stumbling points, because frankly, that's one of my big tips to anyone who wants to write a book. If you're writing a book, and especially like me, you want to have a very vocal style of book, when you're done writing it, read it aloud, because every time you stumble, that's a pretty good indicator that the sentence or the thought or the flow is not as polished as it should be. So I'm going to start right away, right up at the top, by heading back over to Scrivener and reading it aloud. Bea Boker, check your alignment, calibrate as necessary. What do you get when you take a Hungarian diplomat, move her around the world to the South Island of New Zealand, and leave her there without any significant means of employment? A very motivated entrepreneur with a world-class communication skill set. That's my amazing friend Bea, pronounced Bea. Upon arrival in Kiwi land, she immediately set out to capitalize on what she knows best, creating connection, communication, and meaningful engagement via the then novel channels of social media. She started out by mastering the systems and understanding the engines behind them so that she could serve any company or individual who wanted or needed to avail themselves of these powerful, yet often misunderstood comms channels. And for a while, that was good enough. That was good enough. There are, even today, vast numbers of peoples and firms that know they should be including social in their marketing efforts, but need significant guidance, strategic and strategic, let's say vision, and tactical help to wrestle with this constantly changing, ever-hungry herd of shiny object channels. Through direct services, individual coaching, and group classes and seminars, Bea has been very successful in a relatively short time. But then things started to change, not in the platform she dealt with, but within herself. And that's where things get a little personal brand interesting. I think instead of hyphenating it, I'm going to set it off via single quotes. There's something Bea and I share, a significant love-hate relationship with social media. There, I said it. That which must not be said, especially by modern-day marketing professionals. Social media can be an intolerable pain in the fill in the blank. This is where Bea and I are in great agreement, although with me it's more of a hate-love relationship. I'm going to take that out. That's dumb. Why do we feel this way? Because we both see and feel the same thing. Social media's tremendous potential, and that potential being actively destroyed by standard social media best practice conventional wisdom, guru, wannabe, yoga, babble, wannabe, inspiration, masturbation, and easy ways to make 6 figures with social media snake oil. Guru, wannabe, inspiration, masturbation, and 10 easy ways to make 6 figures. Let's give this some exclamation points. To make social. So let's read this aloud. There, I said it, that which must not be said, especially in modern-day modern-day marketing professionals. Social media can be an intolerable pain in the ass. This is where Bea and I are in great agreement. Why do we feel this way? Because we both see and feel the same thing. Social media has tremendous potential, and that potential being actively destroyed by standard social media best practice conventional wisdom, guru, wannabe, inspiration, masturbation, and 10 easy ways to make 6 figures with social media snake oil. I could rant on this forever and may in a later book. I think I'll put that off parenthetically. And may in a later book, comma, but for now, I want to recognize the soul-crushing reality in order to more effectively convey Bea's deep unease yet hopeful excitement about this not going away part of the world in which we all live and work. But just working isn't cutting it for Bea anymore. She's getting ready to unlock some personal brand power-ups and take her game to a whole new, more personally satisfying level of excellence. Why? Because her personal brand. I'm going to give that a little bit of because her personal brand is demanding it. Can a personal brand take on a life of its own? If it doesn't, I don't think it qualifies as a personal brand. Back when I was an actor, it was not uncommon to hear fellow thespians say, "What's my motivation?" It's become somewhat of a cliche, but it actually is a very good question. What that actor is saying is, I'm in the process of creating a character, and in order to make one that is coherent, consistent, and instantly recognizable as authentic, I need to understand to a very deep level what makes her tick. I didn't know it at the time, but that is exactly what a good brander does when discovering, crafting, and communicating a true nonfiction brand. It's also what Bea is doing right now, the deep, hard work of completely understanding who she is, what she does, and how she does it. and what she's doing isn't from scratch recreation. It's more of a fine-tuned personal brand calibration that pivots off the immutable central point that defines her personal brand. Think of it this way. A soft drink brand doesn't suddenly shift sectors to make shoes. For Bea, her soft drink is and always will be about communication and connection. In fact, were I to be involved in creating her key three, those two words are almost certainly to make up 2/3 of this important personal brand foundation element. And while those words perfectly describe what she does and how she does it, communicate via meaningful media, and seeking to embrace, help define, and encourage the development of humanity within social communication. It was all about the toolkit. And the tools. Now let's make it all about the artisan and her tech artistry. Social media is a child that's reached a pretty painful adolescence. From the very beginning, Facebook was about connection. Now it's about conversation domination by faceless agendas. Bea wants to be part of changing all that. But the hard part is that the lion's share of her current business is about the nuts and bolts mechanics of social media. How, where, and when to post. What channels are right for your specific needs. How to optimize your word count, hashtags for SEO, etc. Can she authentically pivot from there to the more personally comfortable and professionally brand-aligned social communications concept? She's doing the hard introspection to figure this out, and talking with a few trusted friends in order to test her ideas and assumptions about what she's considering and sounding it all out. She can do all this because she's already got a firmly founded pivot point from which to start. What is that pivot point? Her personal brand. Founded on immutable, I'm going to say first, principles that are grounded in the things she personally stands for, her brand never shifts laterally, but can pivot without damaging who she is, what she does, and how she does it. Right now, the nuts and bolts how-to style classes are leaving her a little cold. Does that mean she has to start over from scratch? No. She just needs to figure out how she wants to level up her business, make some adjustments in the menu of services she offers, and then effectively communicate such changes using the social media tools she's already mastered. Her brand doesn't change. She's still all about communication, what she does, and connection, how she does it. But now she wants to turn the dial up on her, who she is. During a recent conversation, she asked me, "Where do you see me in a few years?" I thought that was a fantastic question. She'd clearly asked that of herself and certainly has a solid answer from her point of view, but she was asking me, an outside but trusted viewer, counselor, what I thought. The funny thing was, I had never really thought about it, but once asked, an immediate image came to mind of her up on a stage in front of a large, obviously rapt and caring audience who were sitting on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting to hear what she had to say. And there it was. The whole who she is that she's working to become. A leader, guide, confidant, and mentor. And confidant is right. Inspirational coach and mentor. That was the missing piece. Who she is, a guide. What she does, facilitate communication, and how she does it via connection. Period. Bea, I submit this key 3 keystone for your approval. Does it look good to you? It sure does from where I sit. All right, I think that's good for that section. So that's 1,197 words, which means 1,197 words divided by 300 per page comes out to just 3.99 pages. 3.99 pages. Add the photo. That's more like 4.5. All right, I'm feeling good about that. So I can go ahead and go over here and change it from a red flag of, hey, dude, you haven't written anything here, and change it all the way up to blue, meaning it's pretty much done. I want to go through it again and edit it and fine-tune it and spell check it and look for redundancy, blah, blah, blah. But I'm feeling pretty good about that specific thing. So I'm going to leave it for now. And instead, and you'll see my eyes darting over that list of chapters here. What do I want to write about next? There's so many things I need to write about. All right. Me and my biz, what's the difference? Knowing who you are so you can be it. Yeah. All right. Hey, by the way, if anybody's watching and you've got any questions, I'm up for answering them. All you have to do is type in, unless you're on Facebook Live, for some reason that's all screwed up. But if you're watching on Twitch or YouTube Live and you have any questions, go ahead and type them into the comment box, and they'll pop up on my screen, and I'll be able to answer the said questions. Let's see, how many of you are out there? Yeah, somebody's on Facebook. Well, let me see if I can open Facebook. Bear with me a sec. Because sometimes people are talking to me on Facebook because it's all kind of wonked up. I don't know it until after the live stream, which is terribly embarrassing. Hold on. I'm live here. I want to make sure my sound is off. I think it is. But at least the comments. Sometimes people are talking to me on Facebook because Coolio, but because it's all kind of wonked up. All right, hold on. There we go. Turn it off. And here I am back on Scrivener, looking at this going, huh. Man, I got to read through this whole thing one of these days. Justin Baker. Yeah, there we go. I know what I can write about. Just today, I'm looking at that section about Justin Baker. He's the guy who's in this week's episode of the Nonfiction Brand Versity, which you can find anywhere. Podcasts are free by searching Nonfiction Brand. And you can see episode 103 this week with Justin Baker. Now, Justin is a guy who has a company called Fuzz Social in Los Angeles. And get this, he works with voiceover artists and other Hollywood actors and public figures and things like that on their social media feeds, because we had a conversation at Social Media Marketing World, and it was very cool because he mentioned the fact that it's getting to the point now where you can be a very talented voice actor that does the voiceovers or voice work for animated films or TV shows, create characters that are truly timeless. And if you don't have a social media following of a certain size, it may be working against you because, well, just put it this way. You've got good actor A, good actor B. Good actor A has 500 Instagram followers. Good actor B has 50,000 Instagram followers. Could it tip the scales of casting to give it to good actor B because they have 50,000 Insta followers? Yeah, it actually could, because more and more production companies are casting not only the actor for their talents, but their networks. Because let's face it, there are plenty of actors out there who have tremendous fan bases, but they aren't that good an actor. I mean, I'm not going to point to anybody, but there are certain fandoms out there that have sprung up around actors of middling talent, but it doesn't matter because they're in very popular fandom style shows. I'm talking about you, Supernatural, and they've got big followings of fans. Anyway, Justin Baker works with those people, so check out those episodes 103 and next week's episode 104, which will be 2 full years of the Nonfiction Brand podcast. So that's pretty crazy. 104 episodes. I can't believe it. Anyway, but that's coming out on Monday. And, frankly, I'm done for today. So I'm going to say bye-bye. But before I go, I want to thank you for helping me get this book a little bit farther down the road. Because if it weren't for you and the commitment I made to you to come down here and work on this book, I probably wouldn't be down here on a Saturday night doing this. So thank you very much. I'm DP Knudten for, as I said earlier, the Nonfiction Brand podcast. It's got new episodes every single week, so be sure to check it out wherever you get your fine podcasts for free. Episode 104 is coming out on Monday, and 103, which came out this week, is with Justin Baker, and the second half of our great conversation is coming out in episode 104 on Monday. And that, as I said, happy 2 years of the Nonfiction Brand podcast. Again, made possible by viewers and listeners just like you. Thank you so very much. That's it for me tonight. I want to say thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Until then, theme music, take us on out. See you tomorrow.